Hey there, it's Friday and I want to ask for just 4 minutes of your time because this is 4 Minute Friday with me, Brian Conway from achievesuccess.co.uk, where if you've joined me before, you know I just take a few minutes of your time to share with you a tactic or a tip or a strategy or something that you can use in the coming weeks to help you make more sales and help you make more money. Now this week, this is as important to you as sales managers if you're watching this as it is to you as a salesperson. And I'm going to share with you a little anecdote in a moment of something that's happened this week, but the subject of this week's 4 Minute Friday is the use of this thing, the telephone. Okay, maybe telephones don't look much like that these days. Some of you watching this video will probably have never seen a telephone that actually looks like that. But that aside, I'm finding a real reluctance or almost a phobia of people using the telephone to sell. People are hiding behind technology, or to be more specific, they're hiding behind email. Now here's the story of a conversation I had this week speaking with one of my clients. He was looking at actually buying a service from another company, and that company had called him up. Okay, the sales representative had called him up and they'd got into a dialogue, and they're now in the process of going through the buying activity. They've had a proposal and all that sort of stuff. And in wanting to contact this salesperson, he actually looked up for their email. So he searched for their email, and what he found was a whole series of emails that he had received over previous months and almost to a year from other salespeople within that organization where they had been trying to pitch him. And he had been blind to all those emails and not contacted them once. And a year later, practically from the first email, somebody picked up the phone and spoke to him, and he's now looking at potentially actually buying their product. Whereas if they had just emailed him again, there'd probably be no sale happening whatsoever. And that's the point. You cannot beat the telephone. There is a place for email. Yes, it's a great marketing tool. It's a great way of perhaps warming somebody up before you pick up the phone. It's a great follow-up tool, particularly with automation, because of the time leverage that can give you. But we've got to get back to people speaking to people. You've got to pick up that phone. Now, if you don't know how to do that, you've got to get some training on how to do it. You've got to get some scripts. You've got to know the process. You need to know how to manage and handle those initial objections that you're probably going to get when you do make that phone call, because all that stuff happens. I appreciate cold calling is not a nice activity, but it doesn't have to be cold. Again, if you follow these 4 Minute Friday videos, I'm always giving you tips and strategies that will help you warm up a prospect before you ever contact them. I call it cool calling as a minimum, or warm calling potentially based on how much pre-contact you might actually do. So email, yes, it's good for pre-contact, but it is not a sales tool, and we have got to start picking up the phone. I am finding with more of my clients, as we're coaching and role-playing and all that sort of stuff on those initial conversations and initial pitches that they make to somebody to grab their attention, and that's what you've got to do. And there are some really simple tips which perhaps I'll share with you over the coming weeks now about telephone techniques, but you've got to pick up the phone. So that's it for this week. I just want you as sales managers to really monitor how much activity, telephone activity, your salespeople are actually doing, or are they hiding behind emails? And if you're a salesperson, ask yourself, are you relying on email perhaps more than picking up the phone and speaking to people? Because this can be literally transformative. As I said, this company could have carried on sending emails to this client of mine forever and a day, and he may have never ever responded to them. They've slipped down the old dashboard of your inbox rather on your email client, and they're kind of gone, and you don't go back to them. Even when you flag them, I know myself personally, I might flag an email and think, oh, I'll come back to that later, and then I look in the flag box and there's emails from 2 years ago that I never ever went back to. It's just not a sales activity. It's not a sales tool. It's a sales support tool. The telephone is a sales tool, and it's a tool we've got to get comfortable with. So, bit of a rant this week, but it's an important rant. It's important important that we speak to people. That is the true essence of great salespersonship. See what I did there? Not salesmanship. I'm trying to be all PC now. Anyway, let's not digress. Have a great week and have a great week of selling ahead, and make sure you increase your call times. This has been 4 Minute Friday. I'm Brian Conway. You take care.